Hey everybody, I'm Rebecca and welcome to the channel where I talk money and legacy. If you're interested in knowing more about personal finance and growing your money exponentially, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join the family. Okay, so let's get started. A new year, a new you, and a new mindset. One of the smartest financial moves that you can make this year is to run a serious maintenance checkup on your financial wellness. And today I'm going to share 10 bad habits you will need to break if you're going to achieve financial success this year and beyond. I'm sharing these bad money habits not to make anyone feel guilty, but to identify certain habits or practices that keep people broke. And if any of these apply to you, then you can decide to break that cycle and make a 180-degree turnaround. Sometimes we might not be aware of what's holding us back from living in abundance. So let's check them out, all 10 of them. The first bad money habit is failing to participate in your company's 401k plan. Now, your goal should be to contribute the maximum amount to your 401k plan. And if you ignore this investment opportunity, not only are you neglecting to take advantage of tax-deferred compensation, but you're leaving free money on the table because most companies will match a portion of your contribution. And I suggest you contribute at least enough to get the maximum match. At a minimum, you want to try to contribute 10% of your salary to your 401k plan. And if you're already at 10%, increase that contribution by at least 1% with a target rate of being 15%. Now, if you don't have a 401k plan, then open a Roth IRA. And Roth IRAs are easy to set on any online brokerage site. They have online tools to help you decide what securities to invest in, such as stocks and EFTs. That's number one. The second bad money habit is failing to set up a budget. If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. Every income generating person should have a spending plan to track their income and expenses. It's called a budget. Now, I would be in an absolute pickle if I had to live without a budget. My spending would be out of control. And the reason a budget is important because it helps you to prioritize how you spend your money. And I didn't realize how frivolous my spending was until I started tracking it. And this was about 30 years ago. And that was a wake-up call for me. I said, oh no, I've got to get my spending under control. And hopefully this is a wake-up call for some of you as well. Now, a budget doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, I believe in keeping it simple. I created a smart budget guide, and I'll leave a link of that video and a free budget template in the description box below, and you can download the template for free. Okay, so that's number two. The third bad money habit is credit cards and personal loan debt. And this is what is called bad debt. And with inflation and consumer goods increasing, credit card debt in particular has been on the rise since early 2022. And most people are working from paycheck to paycheck, just making ends meet. And add to that, over the past year, the Fed has raised interest rates on loans and credit cards higher than it's been in over 10 years. And it's reported that American households have $925 billion in outstanding balances on credit cards. And those are just bank cards. That doesn't include retail credit cards. And on average, we carry 4 credit cards per person. Now, credit cards can be a blessing and a curse depending on how we use them. Now, if you're using credit cards, don't charge more than you can afford to pay off in full when the balance becomes due or when the bill becomes due. And don't be tempted to accept any credit card offers that you get through the mail, or you go to a retail store and they ask you, do you want to open an account? None of that. Make a conscious decision that you're going to live below your means. Start paying down those credit cards. Look for areas in your budget where you can cut back and take that money and apply it to the credit card with the highest interest rate. Now, you might have to get a side hustle to level up your income. And I have a video about leveling up your income with a side hustle. And I even provided some suggestions as far as specific endeavors that you might choose. I'll leave a link to that video in the description box below. Okay, so that's number 3. The 4th bad money habit is keeping up appearances. Looking around at other people and trying to match their financial patterns is a recipe for disaster. Some people will tie themselves up in pretzels trying to keep up with the Joneses. If someone around them gets a new car, they've got to go out and get a new car. If someone around them gets a bigger house, they've got to try to keep up. And this type of posturing will keep you in financial straits. Don't feed your insecurities by trying to impress people, because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. Nobody cares. You just need to learn to live within your means and be comfortable in your own skin. When you have your own financial goals, you're not concerned about trying to keep up with the Joneses or anybody else. You have tunnel vision. You're excited about that pot of gold at the end of the tunnel that you're digging in private. Don't get caught up in what people around you are doing. Write down your personal money goals and stay focused on your plan, because trying to keep up appearances will keep you broke. Okay, so number 4, that's number 4. The 5th bad money habit is that you don't have an emergency fund. And having an emergency fund is a priority, because you never know when the unexpected might happen. Now listen to this. Only about 4 in 10 Americans have $1,000 in savings to cover an unforeseen occurrence, such as a car repair or a visit to the emergency room. And ideally, you want to set aside 6 months of living expenses. And this data came from a Pew Research in February of 2022. And within the African American demographic, their findings were even more dire. The study found that for African Americans, only 36% had 3 months, that's what I said, 3 months rainy day fund set aside for emergency purposes. I didn't say 6 months of expenses. Only 36% had 3 months set aside in case of an emergency. And if this is your situation, again, I say you might want to consider getting a side hustle in order to set up an emergency fund. So that's number 5. The 6th bad money habit is not paying yourself first. And this is very important. I talked to you about the budget earlier. Now, let me just give you some pointers when it comes to setting up a budget. Pay yourself first. And that means putting money into a savings or retirement account first. And that way you're prioritizing your long-term financial well-being. Paying yourself includes putting money into your company's 401k plan, having a Roth IRA, and an emergency fund. And if you fail to pay yourself first, you're going to end up overspending in other areas. Now, I recommend you pay yourself 20% across all of your savings and investing accounts. Okay, so that's number 6. The 7th bad money habit is eating out. And this might be an area where you need to cut back. Look at how much money you're spending on lunch every day. Rather than wasting $15 or $20 a day for lunch and other meals, start bringing your lunch. It's definitely cheaper, and it probably will be more nutritious. There was a time when I would eat out every day. I love having lunch or dinner with my friends at Papa Do's, Houston's, Ruth Chris, and the Cheesecake Factory. There's nothing wrong with eating out in moderation. And I will say that over the past 10 years, I have actually learned to enjoy cooking my own healthy meals. Now, I still eat out occasionally, but not every day. And that alone has helped to save me a lot of money. Eating out too frequently can be very costly. So that's number 7. The 8th bad money habit is making impulse purchases. We've probably all been guilty of going to the grocery store for that one simple item, only to leave with a shopping cart full of stuff that we didn't plan to buy. That's why we should write out a shopping list before going to the grocery store, because having a list will help you to stay within your budget and keep you from spending more than you plan to. And the same holds true when you go to a shopping mall. You don't want to just go to a shopping center and just window shop. If you don't have a specific purpose in mind, when you go into a retail store, you can easily become enticed to spend on impulse. If you don't have room in your budget, say for a Black Friday or President's Day sale, then just don't go browsing on those days. Go shopping with a purpose in mind. And having a habit of buying on impulse will keep you broke, I'm telling you. And that's number 8. The 9th bad money habit is having no health insurance. I don't care how young or strong you might be, no one is invincible. And not having insurance can be very costly if you have to pay out of pocket for medical attention. And we see and hear unexpected tragedies on a regular basis. And what happens? The family has to set up a GoFundMe page to get financial assistance. You do not want to go that route. You need to have health insurance coverage, not just for an emergency, but general peace of mind should you need any form of medical attention, whether minor or major. And college-age students can remain on their parents' health plans up until the age of 26. So don't roll the dice when it comes to your physical and psychological well-being. Having to pay out of pocket for medical expenses can break your pocketbook. So make sure you have health insurance coverage. That's number 9. And number 10 is having expensive vices. Smoking, drinking, and gambling will keep you broke, just to name a few. And I realize that some habits are addictive and you can't just quit cold turkey. Some habits require medical intervention. And it's also reported that lower income groups tend to spend more of their budget on lottery tickets than higher income groups in hopes of striking it rich. And if any of these spending habits hit home with you, I pray the cycle will be broken. Okay? So there you have it. 10 bad habits that will keep you broke and stop you from achieving financial success in this year and beyond. And I pray that this information is of value to you. And I encourage you to share this video with someone that you feel would be blessed by it, because my goal is to reach and teach as many people as possible and help them to achieve financial success. And that's going to wrap up today's video. I'll be back next week with more money and legacy talk. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave your thoughts and comments below as well. Click that notification bell to receive an alert each time I upload a new video. Until the next time, take care and bye for now.